So when I was a kid, I remember Christmas of 2004. And I remember on my list, I asked for an RC airplane. I saw it in the Toys R Us catalog that used to go out. Kids nowadays have no idea what I'm talking about. But there was this catalog that went out every year, right around Christmas time, conveniently. And you could see all of the new, latest and greatest toys that came out. Now this RC airplane was particularly fascinating to me because the idea that I could buy something and have it go up in the air and fly and I could control it remotely, it just astounded me. I had to see it for myself. So Christmas time comes around, I'm opening gifts and I see I have the RC plane. It's here. Well, I put it up in the air Christmas Day and the wind took it and it was gone. The flight couldn't have been more than 30 seconds. So I remember telling my dad what happened and he told me, well, that was your Christmas gift and if it's gone, it's gone, and tough. So ever since then, I've always had this unmet desire to experience the joy and the thrill of RC aviation. So last Christmas, I decided I was actually gonna go fulfill my childhood dreams and I was gonna buy myself an RC airplane. I go to the hobby store and I'm looking at all the various models. I don't know anything about these things. I find the coolest looking RC jet at the hobby store. It says that it goes 180 miles an hour on the box. It's perfect for me. So the guy at the hobby store tells me, sir, this is not a beginner airplane, and I would definitely not recommend going with the jet. I did not take his advice. I bought it and, got it off the ground. Very nerve-wracking, I will say. This was I think all in all, it cost me just over $1,200. It was a 5-foot wide wingspan. It was like a big jet. And I took it up, had it up in the air, flew it around, went great. Came in for the landing, stuck the landing somehow. I mean, the new planes, they have so many assists that they kind of fly themselves. And then I took it up for the second time and was not able to land it successfully. Definitely crashed it. I was back at the hobby store the very next day and begrudgingly, trying to be as incognito as possible, I grabbed another one. I'm committed to this. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna learn how to fly RC planes. So I buy a second one, and within the same day, I crash that one. So at this point, I'm now thinking to myself, maybe they're onto something, and I should get something a little bit more beginner friendly. So I buy a Draco 2-meter plane, which is actually a bigger plane and a more expensive plane. But the theory is this one's slower flying and it's propeller driven instead of being a jet RC airplane. So it should be more controllable. I was flying it in my backyard, which is okay, but I had the idea that maybe there are places that I could go, like a club of some sort, where I could actually fly it where there's designated area for it and lots of open grass. Well, I found something even better near my house. There's actually an RC field that has a paved runway specifically designed for flying RC planes. So I go there and I wind up meeting the guys, and this community of hobbyists are so dedicated to perfecting their craft, and everyone there wants to help you learn. And it really became this outlet that I didn't know that I would enjoy as much as I did. Unfortunately, because you're around enthusiasts, they tend to make you envy the new gadgets that they have, so you wind up buying a bunch more planes. So I start going out there almost daily, and I'm flying planes and I'm doing well and I'm learning to get the landing smoother. I tell my wife Jenny that I'm going to go fly the airplanes, and whenever I get home, she used to ask me how it went, but there were so many times where I would come back with a garbage bag full of what was my airplane and now just pieces of foam and carbon fiber rods. So I think ultimately she stopped. She felt bad for asking me, so she just would say nothing and assume that if I say nothing, it means the day went horribly. And if I tell her it was amazing, that means it obviously went well. I tend to obsess and try to perfect everything that I do. So I found myself watching hours of YouTube videos every week on the dynamics of aviation and how to generate lift and when does a plane stall and things like that. And of course, that then got me interested into full-size aviation. So I'm actually planning this summer on getting my license and starting with ground school and then getting some seat time. So, and I've got some friends, Michael Reddy's one of them. He's an aviation enthusiast, so we'll be going up in a couple weeks to go scope things out. So it really just unlocked this entirely new area that I had no idea was going to be so thrilling. And it all started with that idea as a kid where I just wanted to fly an RC airplane.